Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet Miss Rodeo Michigan 2023, and she came from my hometown of Detroit. Her incredible journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team. And the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
So Eminem, the rap star, came out with the movie 8 Mile a few years ago, and I remember thinking to myself, man, that's not tough, because I grew up at 7 Mile in Detroit, and the only thing tougher than 7 Mile is 6 Mile, and that's where Khalilah Smith grew up.
Yes,
Thanks for coming on the show. You are Miss Rodeo Michigan 2023.
Yes, so growing up there, it was pretty interesting. Like people say, you really grow up where you have to, and in Detroit, it gives you that mission, that goal, and just to get out of there. It gives you a whole different drive than usually when people get out of there, so it's been interesting.
Well, so I can only imagine conversations with your friends when you said, hey, I'm thinking about doing some stuff with horses. I mean, this is, 6 Mile is the hood.
It is. So actually, I got teased a lot in school based on just riding horses. They're like, Black people don't do that, especially Black people from Detroit don't do that. So getting up and getting interested and then actually getting involved, it took a lot of skills, because not only was I getting involved with horses, but I was conquering my emotional distance with schooling and stuff like that, because I was diagnosed with ADHD at a young age. So getting all that wrapped up into one little bow and tie was a lot of hard work, but horses helped me do it.
Well, and congratulations on listening to your own, voice rather than listening to others, because I know peer pressure can cause people to do a lot of different things. So then you go to Michigan State, which I graduated from as well.
Go Green.
And so when did you decide to compete in Miss Rodeo, and how tough was it?
Yeah, so actually I ended up getting into rodeo about the age of 10 years old. I used to see rodeo queens, but it was kind of like I can't really associate with that, because I'm like, I don't see myself in that position. It wasn't until I graduated high school, got out of the little britches, and went to go to college rodeo that I got involved with rodeo in college. And I didn't see it in myself then, but I have 2 wonderful people push me. They were like, I can see you in these shoes. I can see you, and this is what little girls need to see. So sophomore year of college, I got involved with rodeo queening, and from then I hit the ground running, and it's been an experience so far.
And you were featured in the Lansing State Journal, a journal I used to read all the time when I was in Michigan. That picture, tell me about that picture.
So this was actually 2 years in the making. This was before I won my title. I didn't win the first time, so I came back and did it again. And that's just given me a big old hug once she found out that I won. And it was tears, and it was a lot of joyful moments, but it was something well needed.
And the Lansing State Journal also put together a really wonderful video. Let's go ahead and roll that.
I really didn't have any emotions when it happened. I wanted to cry, I wanted to jump. It was just like, just hug me. I'm like, just please don't let me cry. But it didn't sink in until about 2 o'clock this morning. I woke up and cried. That's a lot on my shoulders. That's what my coach was actually pushing for, because I can set a stepping stone for people under me that want to do the same thing, but in a majority, being a minority in a majority world in this rodeo thing, it's like people are like, can I step my foot out? And I actually want to be that person, so I'm like, yeah, you can come do it. It's not like any other animal, they have, like a dog, they have them feelings, and then you know when something is bothering a horse. You know when they're not feeling good. They know when you're not feeling good. Like my horse literally would come and nudge me and get me to do things. Like he would put his hand in my arm. It was just amazing to see that a horse could actually feel that and not just want to run around like you see them on TV. It's just they have the passion that they want to be with you, and people just have to embrace that because they can make you smile on the days that you want to just bawl and cry. Because I wanted to prove to people that anyone can do anything they put their mind to. Like, even though I'm a minority in a majority world, and basically everywhere I go, people either lock the doors or they look at me weird until I say, "Hi, I'm Khalilah Smith." Like, I smile at them like my mom always told me to kill people with kindness. Like, I'm always that person that smiles, and I'm always that person that's like, "Hi, how are you doing?" Like, I never look at anyone bad. And that's basically how I was raised. So I have no problem being in this world now, and I love it.
Congratulations. What an inspirational story. And now you're preparing for the Nationals.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
So I'm preparing to run for Miss Rodeo America in December, and I'll be the first African-American woman to run for the title. So it's a lot, but I want to be on that platform, not to have people walk in my shoes, but I want to be the stepping stone on the platform for people to actually go above and beyond me. So that's why I'm stepping my foot out and doing it for other people and not just myself.
Have you had young people come up to you and say, "You're my role model"?
I have. I actually, when I won my first title, I had a little girl. I walked out of the restroom and the little girl looked up at me and she was with her mom, and her mom was kind of tugging on her to get her to keep walking. And she was just adamant about meeting me, and she didn't settle down until I actually picked her up and embraced her. And her mom was like, "She's been following you all day," and she's like, "I really want to be like you when I grow up." So.
Wow, I just got chills. That is so cool. We've got some pictures of you off of Facebook, and why don't you just kind of narrate for us? What are we looking at?
So this picture is me in Guyman, Oklahoma. Actually, this past week we went down there with a couple state girls over to the Guyman Pioneer Days in Oklahoma, and I got to hang out with some pretty cool people, especially a lot of people didn't look like me, and I've seen a lot of people that did. And those kids were really excited to see me and see somebody that they can potentially see themselves being.
What's this?
This was me in Indiana, so that is my Miss Rodeo Kentucky. We went down there to the stock show and rodeo, got a chance to hang out with one of my sponsors, Sarah Kelsey. She runs Rhinestone Lip Gloss, and she's been one of my biggest motivators, so I went down there to support her as well. Oh, geez. This is a throwback from the times. So this is actually a really cool picture. I was the Michigan State Rodeo Queen, and that is actually Kayla. She was the 2018 Miss Rodeo Michigan. So I'm standing in her shoes now, but back then I was just looking up to her because that's who I wanted to be one day. Wow. This was a picture, actually, my first trip down to Florida. We went to a rodeo down there with some more state girls, and we got to hang out and see different things, how they put on rodeos down there, and man, was it hot. I was not going to complain about the heat. As we know, Michigan is pretty chilly, but I was enjoying it. This was also down there in Florida. This is their special needs rodeo. One cool thing we do in rodeo is we embrace everybody, and that just doesn't mean people that are different. We're like, you can still do rodeo no matter who you are and where you come from. So this was my first trip out. This was me in Denver. Fun fact, Denver actually hosts one of the black rodeos named Bill Pickett. They host them during Black History Month, and that is their Martin Luther King rodeo that they host in that same arena that our national level cowboys compete in as well.
Wow, you are really getting to see the world, aren't you?
I am, and I'm loving it.
All right, let's talk about your platform and what you hope to do with it.
Yeah, so my platform is building diverse bridges, which I want to gap what we have in the inner city, as our inner city kids don't know much about the agricultural industry. I want to bridge that gap together so they know they have jobs in that industry. They have platforms where their voices need to be heard, because they not only grow up in the city where most of our food produce goes, but they also need places to express themselves and build the industry that helps the whole world go around.
Okay, in the 2 minutes that we have left, I want you to look right into that camera and give words of inspiration to anybody who is thinking about breaking a barrier, because it can be intimidating.
Yeah, of course. So the first thing that I've always gotten told is kill people with kindness. No matter where you go, there's always going to be some backlash against anything you do, because everything you do that's going to break a barrier is going to be controversial. You just have to take that on your shoulders. Be who you are, stand up straight, stand up strong. Let people know who you are when you step into a room, and walk with your head high. And most of all, be yourself in and out. because people can tell when you're being somebody else, but when you be yourself in and out, you can definitely be the person that you want everybody to see. And then always keep your word, because your word is your bond, and that's what helps you get around in life.
Outstanding. You've been such an amazing guest and such an inspiration. We're going to end with her website, which is MissRodeoMichigan.com. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yes, thank you for having me.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.